Yeah, I played Kyle Breyer. I'm the father to Brandon Breyer, and we raise him as our own. And unfortunately, he is not of this world, and that is a bad thing.
I play the role of Brian Breyer, aka Brightburn, who is the sinister of the film. He comes to Earth as an infant, and as he grows up, he begins to discover that he has some powers that maybe he wasn't familiar with, and they turn out to not be used for anything good at all. Brennan is more of a conflicted person who has had so much pressure put on him from all sides, and also has had a coaxing voice in his mind telling him what he needs to do and what happens if he doesn't do it. And that, I think, is ultimately what forces him to use his powers to do the malicious deeds that he does. Elizabeth Banks is an incredible actress and amazing to work with. I think we had really good chemistry from the get-go, and I think the relationship between us was it was very accurate, and it felt very raw and real.
The thing that drew me to this script was the idea of taking these two genres that have never been sort of put together and creating a new genre of superhero horror, or, if you will, supervillain. You know, he's not a hero at all. And, you know, people go to the theater to see a superhero movie because they want to go on a ride, and, you know, and people go to see a horror movie because they want to go on a ride. Kind of different rides, but to put them together, I think, is the genius of James, and why this works so well, and why it's such a fun ride for everyone that watches it. You know, I mean, for me, like, you take a horror movie and, like, you're a bad guy, you can run away from them, or you can call the cops, you can do something. There's nothing more terrifying than a bad guy you can't get away from. You know, a little kid who can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes. Like, it's terrifying. And so it just takes that element and goes, you know, from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. And I mean, it's a hell of a ride on this.
Superhero horror obviously is the new genre that James Gunn has created. You know, it shows his genius as a producer, visionary, and it really showcases the fact that the elements of these two genres of films can coincide really well together and can coexist really well together. And I think it really shows on screen that it's able to make something that is completely different yet still very enjoyable. Yeah, no, it's an incredible experience. It's been a wild ride, and it's in a guilty way. It's empowering to be able to play a character that is virtually unstoppable. And yeah, it was. I couldn't have asked for a better experience as my first lead in a feature film. It's absolutely incredible.
And working on Brightburn specifically, you know, to be a part of something that is like new and original is such a unique thing, and something as artists we always hope to be a part of. And so that to me is super exciting, to be able to be in the first one of these genres, you know, superhero horror. And so I'm sure many will come after, because it's a fun ride, but it's nice to be in, you know, the original.
Frightening thrill.
It's terrifying. I mean, it's terrifying. It's not for the faint of heart. It is a R-rated, dark horror movie, not to be confused with some light superhero movie, you know, in the Marvel or DC universe that you may have seen before. This is a whole nother bag.